Welcome back, and today we're going to start dividing fractions. What I want you to understand is that you need to know multiplying fractions very, very well in order to learn how to divide fractions. The reason why I say that is because we're only going to go one step from divide straight into times. It's going to become a times. So if you don't know timesing fractions, you need to go revise those first. So what is our first step to dividing? Well, we write the first fraction down as it is, 2 over 3. We write the second fraction down upside down on the inverse. So basically 8 over 3. We're flipping it over. We're putting that there and that there. So we're going to write it now over here as 8 over 3. And then the divide, we don't write as divide. We write it as a times. Okay. So once you've flipped over this one, you change that into a times. So I'm going to do this all again from the beginning to show you so we can revise it nicely. So our first step is we keep the first fraction the same. Our second step is we flip over the second fraction. So 8 will go on top and 3 will go at the bottom. Our third step is we change the divide into a times. Now, do you see what we have here? Just a simple times. I don't see anything that can cancel out, so we'll start timesing. 8 times 2 is 16 over 3 times 3 is 9. And as you know from our previous lectures, you never leave it in the form of an improper fraction. We convert that improper fraction into a mixed number. 9 will go into 16 once with a remainder of 7 over 9. Because 16 minus 9 is 7. Okay, got it. Let's look at the next one. Over here we have step 1, we keep the first one the same. Step 2, we flip them over, so 6 over 5 instead of 5 over 6. Step 3, divide becomes times. Now we're back into times territory again. Can we cancel anything out? Yes, we can. Always before you times, check if you can cancel anything out. 3 will go into itself once and into 6 twice. It makes your times so much easier when you can do that. Now we're timesing out. 2 times 2 is 4. 1 times 5 is 5. And that's your answer in its simplest form, so we can leave it just like that. Next one. Do you remember what we have to do to make a whole number into a fraction? I taught you that in previous lectures. You put it over 1. It doesn't change the value. So the first step is we're going to just make a whole number into a fraction, 12 over 1. Our second step is we invert the half. In other words, we put the bottom on the top and the top on the bottom. Okay. And now the third step is we're going to change divide to times. Okay, there's nothing that can cancel out, so let us just times it out. 12 times 2, we know from our times tables, is 24. And 1 times 1 is 1. And then we know also that anything written over 1 is the whole number itself. So we're going to simplify this down to just an answer of 24. Okay, next one. Now, first step, as we know, is you write the first fraction. Second step, we invert the next one. So 5 on top, 3 underneath. Third step, you turn divide into times. Now, we always, like experts in multiplication of fractions, we know we have to cancel out if we can. I see we can, yeah, because 3 can go into itself once and it can go into 9 3 times. That will make your multiplication so much simpler. Now we're going to multiply. 3 times 5 is 15. 11 times 1 is 11. Okay? We have an improper fraction that needs to be converted into a mixed number. 11 will go into 15 once, with a remainder of 4 over 11, because 15 minus 11 is 4. Got it? Now the next screen is the one where you are going to actually press pause. You're going to do it at home on your paper. You're going to work out your answer, and you're going to come and press play to see if your answer is the same as mine. If it isn't, you learn from mine. We learn from our mistakes in maths. So I'll see you just now. Okay, I assume you're back. So I hope you did, the first thing you did was you made 18, which is a whole number, into a fraction by putting it over 1. Then your second step was to take your second fraction and to invert it. So you wrote 4 over 3. Then your third step was to make divide into times. Okay. Now, the next step actually is a cancellation step. We want to simplify before we multiply, if it's possible, and it is possible here. 3 can go into 18. It's part of its times table. So 3 goes into itself once, and into 18 6 times. Now we can times out. 6 times 4 is 24, and 1 times 1 is 1. Now do you see we are back to a whole number over a 1, which means we can simplify that just as the whole number. The answer is 24. I hope you got that, and I hope you've realized how easy dividing fractions is. It is an absolute no-brainer. It's so easy if you know how to times fractions. You just have one step away from times. I'll see you in the next divide lecture.